We all have them. You know, those fears that hold you back, those times where you just can't step out of the boat. Well, that's what I want to talk about today because we all need some encouragement, don't we? Let's go. Life, faith, Jesus. So today I want to talk to you about stepping out of your boat. See, about a year and a half ago, I left my job as a youth pastor in pursuit to plant the church plant, and that's what Welcome Life Church is. It's a church plant of the Church of Nazarene. That was me stepping out of the boat that I had security in. Now, you're probably wondering, Pastor Josh, where are you getting this whole let's step out of the boat thing from? That's what I want to talk to you about. It's in Matthew 14, 27 through 31. And this is what it says. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid." "Lord, if it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began sinking, cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately, Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You have little faith. Why did you doubt?" Or why did you have fear? We get in our comfort zones. We get in these zones where we want to stay in the boat. We don't want to rock the boat, per se. Don't tip over. We're going to fall. And that brings fear to people. That brings fear into your life. But the thing is, Jesus is calling you to step out of the boat. He's calling you to move towards something that you might not have been wanting to do. See, courage will move you out of the boat. Peter had courage to step out on the water toward Jesus. That was courage. That wasn't fear. That was courage. That was faith over fear. That was faith above his fear that led him towards stepping toward Jesus. It's time for you to do that same thing. It's time for you to allow your faith to be greater than your fear, because your fear is keeping you from what you want to do. You may be wanting to write that next book, but you're like, nah, no one really cares about my words. You may be wanting to sing and you're like, no, I really have a terrible voice. You may be God may be calling you into another city to reach the lost people there. And you're like, no, I'm scared because my family, Lord, is here. That's not courage. That's not faith. That is fear. Courage will move you out of the boat toward Jesus. Fear leads you to rely on yourself rather than relying on Jesus. Because when you start having fear, you want to have control. You want to be the one to dictate what happens, when it happens, so that you don't have that tug of war fear moving into you. But you see, that's not how Jesus wants us to live. That's not how he designed you to live, in a fear of perpetual what if and how can I prevent it. 2 Timothy 1:7 says this: "For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but power and love and self-control." Now, you may be wondering, well, Pastor Josh, didn't you just say you don't need self-control? Well, he's not talking about self-control here in the midst of like, I have to have control. He's talking about self-control of in the midst of fear. Don't let your knee-jerk reaction start to move you into and away from God. That's not what he wants. He wants you to bring him closer and allow that fear to move you where you go where the Holy Spirit is leading you to go. The last one is this: we must learn to reach out to Jesus in our fear. We must learn to reach out to Jesus in our fear. Because when you reach out to Jesus, just like Jesus did for Peter, he will immediately grab you and say, here, I'm right here with you. I never left you. I never forsake you. I am right here with you. See, many times that's what happens in our lives. We get in there, and like I said, we find that rut and we stick to it. I was in that rut a little while back. I was in the rut of no one cared. No one knew what I was doing. Woe is me. I'm dead man walking here. But the thing is that Jesus took me out of that rut. Jesus led me out, and he grabbed me by the hand and he said, you are on the path that I have called you to be on. Step out of the boat. So question for today is this, are you willing to step out of the boat? Are you willing to step out of the boat and go to where the Holy Spirit is telling you to go? And go where you have fear because you don't know what's going to happen. Today, I want you to take that step and step out of the boat. If you liked what you saw, hit that like button in the comments below. Let me know what you're afraid of so I can be praying for you. And if anything, if you made it to the last of this video, thanks. And if you want to keep watching something else, I hope you do. Watch this video right here about how to not have regret. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button right there. Until next time, guys, it's time to be different. It's time to live different. You have a good day.